So this is sort of a part 2 video for a comeback by White Denim. Someone commented asking how to play the next part of the song, which is, you know, the verses. I think that was Ian Aoki. I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right. He mentioned that it sounds like it's triads, which are 3-note chords moving around. It sort of is. I've listened to the song really carefully with headphones on, and it sounds like there's actually 3 guitars all playing a similar sort of tune. But they're all harmonised, so each guitar is playing a different part. Now I've arranged this so you can play it like I just did there on one guitar, and you can basically get most of the sound of the verse across. There are some little lead guitar, some little fills like that, which I'll show you at some point. But the main part goes like this. So you're playing 2 notes at the same time. You're actually playing like the high note and the middle note of the chord. So to start off with, there's a little slidey blues type of lick at the beginning. Also, if you see me looking down or pressing on a little clicky thing like this, I've just got a channel switcher on the amp. So I'm switching between a crunchy sound that I used to the beginning, and then a cleaner channel for the chords. If you've got like a distortion pedal or something, just set it up so that when you press it on, you've got a little bit more gain, and that'll work for the chords at the end. So to begin with, so you can see it's a really grey day today, so I'm trying to get as much light as possible, but it's not working very well, so apologies if you can't see. You're starting off, the first lick is you're sliding from your 4th fret on your D string up to your 6th fret on your D string. When you get there, leave that finger on there because you want the note to keep ringing over the next part. There, put your 2nd finger or your 1st finger, whatever's easiest, most comfortable, put it on the 5th fret B string. So you've slid from 4 on your D to 6 on your D, and then play your 5th fret B. Now when you do that, if you know anything about the guitar fingerboard, you'll know that the 5th fret on the B string is the same as the E string open, like that. And what's common is when you play this sort of blues lick using that note, you hit your B and your E string together just so you get a fatter sound. So that's what we do there. If you can see, I'm doing an up strum there as well. That's just to make sure that you definitely hit both of those strings. You can sort of hook underneath and pick up. So that's the first little fill. And you can actually do that every time you start off a little verse cycle, which we're looking at now. Also, as you might have heard then, make sure that you mute your G string in the middle, because you're playing your D to your B. So there's a danger that you might hit that G string, which is going to sound pretty awful. So make sure your 3rd finger's touching it a little bit. Anyway, carrying on. You can also start that bit off by just starting on the 9th fret on your G and B strings. And I'm playing those with my middle 2 fingers, your 2nd and 3rd. So we can either go or, which you'll see later on. So we start off. Then the next part, we're going to slide from the 7th fret up to the 9th fret, still on just the G and B strings, and then pluck 9 again. And also, to get a more authentic, sort of separate guitar part sound, if you pluck both of those notes at the same time, what I'm doing is I'm using my pick for the G string and then my middle finger to pluck the B string. And because this is on the record, it's 3 different guitars recorded at the same time. That just helps emulate the sound of the notes being plucked exactly at the same time. Because when you're picking a little chord like that, your pick actually does hit one string before the other. Now it's a tiny, tiny difference, but in music, these things add up to create a bigger picture, really. So plucking those notes together, not too much, you don't want to snap them like you're doing slap bass or something. Just pluck them gently so you get that type of sound. So let's recap. Next part, you do the same slide again and pluck the notes again. Now here's your next part. Still on the G and B strings, play your third finger on your 11th fret, your second finger on your 10th fret. What you need to do there is slide up 2 frets again. We slid up 2 frets to begin with, sliding up another 2 frets, that's easy to remember. Leave your second finger on what is now the 12th fret and get your first finger and put it on the 12th fret as well, but on the D string. Listen to that again, starting on 11 and 10, sliding up 2 frets and put your first finger on the D string, 12th fret. And you're plucking your D and B then, so you're actually missing out the G string that you plucked to begin with. Okay, and then back to where you started on the 9th fret. That's like an E chord, that's where you're starting from every time. So here's the full verse. Okay, it's quite tricky to get those little slides working, especially if you've never played it before. Also, if you do really struggle with this, you know, write down the notes I'm talking about on some tab or something, and just play the top note as well. That still sounds fine if you just want to play the song. Anyway, after that, you get 2 chords which are being played. The first one is just an A or an A5 chord down on your 2nd fret. Bar that with your first finger. And your next chord is, if you've ever played any AC/DC, any Highway to Hell or type of things, it's G5, it's an open chord. So you've got your 2nd finger and your 3rd fret, your 3rd and 4th fingers on the top 2 strings of the B and E. Make sure that your 2nd finger is muting your A string. This would be G5. And what we're adding on to that is you're getting your 1st finger and putting it onto the 2nd fret G string, which is that note there. So it's actually a G sus2 chord. It sounds great if you used to, you know, jamming along with rock riffs down there. It's a real nice alternative to just playing a regular G power chord. So those last 2 chords again is A and then G sus2. Now, what happens the next time is, instead of playing that little lick, you go up to the 9th fret and pluck both notes, just as I said at the beginning as an option. Play through the normal verse, back to your chords, and then on the 3rd time, you do the original first little sliding lick, and then there's a little bit of off the beat timing happening now. So listen to this 3rd time. So what's happening there is you're starting from your 7th fret, G and B, but instead of sliding directly to 9, you're going chromatically, which means you're moving 1 fret at a time, 1 note at a time. And you noticed there a slid, then plucked the last 2 notes. Okay, now go to this same little chord which you've been playing after the first little pair, which is 11 and 10 on the G and B, and do the same thing. Slide up a fret, jump up 1 more fret and pluck. Listen. Then pluck the notes you finished on, 13 and 12, down to 7, and then back up to 9. So listen again in full. Then down to your chords. And your last time through the verse is just like the second time. Okay, now if you want to really make it sound like the song, you can put the little lead guitar fills in there as well. Now, as you might have gathered by now, this whole little pattern, it's all going around 4 times before the chorus comes in. So there's 4 little lead guitar breaks in there as well. These happen at the exact same time the power chords come in, the chords. The first one goes like this. I'll play a little bit of the verse, and again, I'm using you really got to use a pedal now to get the right sort of drive to play the lead lines. Okay, here we go. So from the start of the verse, even like this. Okay, so now slowly. Okay, so you're up on your B string on your 10th fret. I'll try and move a bit closer. On your 10th fret, then play 12 and cut it off. Then bend that 12th fret up a full tone, so it sounds like 14. When you've done that, get your little finger and play the E string on the 12th fret. And if you noticed there, the bend, you need to make sure that you stop it and don't release it down. The best way to do that, which I found, is to I use my thumb on my right hand just to touch on the string. So if you watch, you bend the note up, drop your thumb onto the string, and actually your pick is resting on the next string, on the E string now. So you can stop the note and get ready to pick the next note at the same time. That doesn't work for everything. It only really works for if a string is directly below the one you're playing, but it's fine to use for this instance. Make sure that you let that string back down. Okay, don't take your finger off the string or else this will happen. Alright, keep your finger on there. Lay it down. Next part, play 10 on your E string, and then you've got to do the exact same pitch bend again, but this time it's a pre-bend and release. So a pre-bend is when you bend up the string and then you pick it and release it back down. Do try that because it does give it the right sort of vocal quality to the bending. But if you're really struggling with it and you want to play the song, you can just do a quick bend and release like this. That still sounds good. Okay, so we carry on going through the verse. Next one. Okay, so by the way, the key of this song is it's E major, or like E minor. It's a type of blues major and minor sound. If you think of it as E major, the minor pentatonic scale that's going to work with that is like your C sharp minor scale, up on your 9th fret, which is the same as E major pentatonic. They're relatives of each other. If you don't know about that, go and look at some theory. But that's the shape you should think of on your 9th fret for this next lick. You're starting off playing your 10th fret again, but this time use your 2nd finger. That's because we need your 3rd finger to be able to play the 11th fret on the G. Okay, so first note, 10 on B. Play 11 on G, and you need to bend it up a tone. That's 2 frets, really quickly. Then release it and pick it. Now the way to stop it this time is, because you're playing the same string again, those are both G, 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 just drop your pick on the string really quickly and it'll stop it. Don't do it gently because you'll get a bit of a buzz, not in a good way. Just drop it on, release it, and then pick 9, That's like the first lick or phrase, which is a great pentatonic lick just to try on its own. The last part, move on to your 9th fret D, hammer on up to 11, and go back onto the G on the 9th fret. And finish by laying your first finger onto D. By the way, you also need to listen to the song here, because these licks we're doing now, it's recorded as a separate guitar on the track, so you've really got to quickly switch if you want to go back and carry on playing the verse. That would sound like this with this lick. Let me get my pedal nearby. Oops. Like that. It's pretty quick, but you can just miss out the last note of each lick. Like that. That sounds good. Okay. That's the third lick. It's really similar to the first one. The difference being is that now we start on 10 and play 12, both on B. But bend up your 12th fret really quickly. Carry on onto your 10th fret E, then 12th fret E. Go back down to 10. Listen. And then pre-bend the 12th fret on the B and release it back down. The reason why that sounds cool is because you're bending that 12th fret. It's up to a note that's exactly 1 fret below the next one you play, so it sounds like that note's bending into the next one. Whoops. Like that. And then carry on with the last time of the verse. And then the final lick is the same as the second one. And into your chorus then. Okay, so if you found this useful, please let me know. If you make more requests for some more of the song out there, I can put the tab up so you can look at it a little bit more closely. Also, if there's any more White Denim songs anyone wants a lesson on, just do a request. I know there's not a lot of tutorial videos for White Denim on YouTube, which is a shame really, because they've got loads and loads of really good guitar parts, loads of different techniques in there. So if there's any more requests, just subscribe, put a message on the channel, and I'll see what I can do for that. Thanks for watching.